Hey, pretty babies, what is going on? Lee Sanders here. You are checking out an all new the RCWR show for Wednesday night, August 18th, 2021. Happy Wednesday night to you guys. Hump Day is here. Oh man, weekend right around the corner. I know for a lot of you guys, you're going to be enjoying the weekend in style. I have got me one of the busiest schedules on my hands this week. I haven't had it this busy in quite some time. You guys know exactly what's been going down. Hey man, the countdown is on. It is officially here. We are talking about the countdown. It's the final countdown until the summer, the official start of the summer of CM Punk. Good man, good God almighty. I'm excited. I don't know if you guys are excited, but I am definitely very excited. I'm so freaking pumped. You guys have no idea. Legit. I am. I mean, as a wrestling fan, these are some exciting times to be in right now as far as pro wrestling and all that goes. We're definitely going to be talking about what all went down on tonight's AEW Dynamite. We'll also just briefly talk about some key points that came about from Tuesday's NXT. You know, no reason to really do a full-blown NXT recap because at this point, everybody pretty much knows what all had went down on NXT. So instead, we'll just sprinkle in with some key points about NXT. And I saw some interesting results that had came about from Impact Wrestling's Victory Road show because they did a whole bunch of tapings recently these past couple of days. They taped a episode of Impact or two. They also did their Emergence pay-per-view event, which they're going to be streaming on Impact Plus, and they did a Victory Road edition. I don't know if that is maybe going to be a future Impact Plus episode or if that is potentially going to be a episode of Impact Wrestling. It's just going to be a Victory Road edition special episode of Impact, but we'll wait and see how that goes. But a lot of stuff had went down on that. So of course we're gonna also talk about the photo that has been floating around and how it's crazy when I think about that photo too, because it just morphed into this whole Ric Flair thing. And what was really one of the most disturbing things, it was actually one of a couple of things that was pretty disturbing about the photo. Not the act that was committed, mind you, not the act that was committed, but just the amount of people that were just, Ric Flair, you got some explaining to do. And literally, I saw people on social media that were going out of their way to actually at Ric Flair and just recycle the photo over and over and over again. Yeah, so we got a nice, fun episode for you guys that's lined up tonight, man. So, and of course, you know, you guys got some wrestling-related questions, some non-wrestling-related questions. We'll definitely get into some of that as well here. I'm saying this at the very top because this is pretty much going to be the final show before I'm with you guys again Saturday in regards to, I'll see what happens. I may try to fire up a show Friday night after Rampage is over, but it's a little tricky because, as you guys know, I'm now working as a columnist and I'm usually doing live coverage of Rampage, and then I gotta follow up immediately and do a write-up review for Rampage. So if I were to do a post show, I think what I'll do for you guys, I'll poll you all on YouTube. So for those of you that's going to be listening to the audio version of this episode on demand and on the downloads, look out on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab and there's going to be a poll. I'll put the poll up most likely early Thursday afternoon. I'll try to do it as early as possible, but I'm going to ask you guys if you would want a special Friday night going into Saturday morning show covering Rampage Fallout. If we were to do a post show, I think at the earliest we may do that post show. I think we may come on at 11:30. I'm thinking 11:30 at night. So if you guys would actually be okay with an 11:30 p.m. post show on a Friday night, and pretty much we're done, I would say factoring in maybe those that want to maybe sound off about the episode and maybe perhaps call in, sound off, I would say we probably would go about an hour. So maybe we could dedicate about a half hour talking about Rampage, and then we could dedicate the second half of the show getting you guys reactions and have you guys call in and all that. So have that in the back of your head. I don't need an answer from you guys right now. Just think about it. And then when you see that poll posted tomorrow, let your voices be heard, and we'll pretty much go from there. But yeah, I want to say this at the top one more time. Friendly reminder, Friday, August 20th, Washington, D.C., Washington Convention Center. Catch me there. I will be at Awesome Con. I will not only be covering the event as a member of the press, yet again, this is going to be my fourth consecutive year, minus the pandemic. This is going to be my fourth consecutive year covering Awesome Con. But added bonus, I'm also going to be hosting a panel. Now, we already went through the guest change lineups and all that on Monday's show, so I'm not going to recycle that again for you guys that were with me on Monday. But I will be moderating and also hosting a panel at Friday's Awesome Con. We're going to be talking about all things pro wrestling. We're going to be talking about the entertainment industry as a whole. We're going to be looking at the impact that COVID has had on it, and it's going to be a very fun, insightful conversation. So if you're going to be in the Washington, D.C. area, make sure you represent and definitely come check it out. AEW this week, okay. I mean, look, when it's all said and done, what you're really excited for is that Friday's Rampage, because you want to see what's going to go down here. You want to know if it's going to be CM Punk that essentially is going to be showing up on Friday's Rampage, or if we're going to get some type of a swerve, and maybe that swerve is going to possibly come in the form of a Daniel Bryan, or not for nothing, but maybe Kenny Omega, since he's got this whole belt collector thing that's going on. Maybe he's going to do one of the most epic freaking trolls that's humanly possible, the best trolls you've ever seen, and maybe he's actually going to be the one that's going to be coming out there and proclaiming himself to be the best in the world. So, I mean, there's so many interesting dynamics that could be going down into Friday's Rampage, but when you're looking at tonight's episode, look, there was definitely some bright spots in regards to the episode. Now, right before we get into Dynamite, something AEW related, we talked about Monday's Dark Elevation, but I do want to share with you guys the card for AEW Dark. Again, the card for AEW Dark I want to share with you guys. Pretty damn good card, too. Check this out. You have Frankie Kazarian taking on Brandon Cutler, Death Triangle facing Chaos Project and Cole Carter, Dante Martin facing Lee Morality, Matt Hardy facing Wheeler Yuta, Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson went up against Joey Keys and Spencer Slade. Meanwhile, Chris Statlander faced Kira Hogan. Also, wait a minute. Is it just me, or does this match card sound familiar? Does this match card sound a little familiar to you guys? It kind of does, right? Some of this kind of sounds a little repeated here, does it not? Just a little bit, but it's all good. Chris Statlander taking on Kira Hogan, Penelope Ford facing Masha Slamovich, Dark Order's 10, Alex Reynolds and John Silver facing Ricky Shane Page, Andrew Palace and Bill Collier, Tay Conti facing Rebecca Scott, 2.0 taking on Skylar Andrews and Sam Adams, Nyla Rose facing Tina San Antonio, Jurassic Express and Varsity Blondes facing the Wingmen. And, that card probably does sound a little bit familiar, because I could have sworn we went over this card on Monday. I'm almost positive we went over this card on Monday. I almost am, but I just wanted to share it with you guys yet again, now that my memory is kind of getting a little bit jarred, because I know not everybody checks out the Monday shows, but something that I do want to do for you guys here. Let me actually, because I think that actually wasn't dark. I think that was the Dark Elevation card from Monday. So if you guys can indulge me a quick second, I'll actually go into my email and I'll let you guys know what the dark results was for August the 17th. All right, let me see here. I'm just trying to confirm, so bear with me a second here. Yeah, that was dark. What I just read to you guys, that was dark. Sounds pretty similar to what we covered on Monday night. So now let me go back and let me just do Dark Elevation for August 16th real quick here. All right, let me see here. And I'll try to hook you guys up here. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I am looking at the Dark Elevation results from August 16th. Duke Davis and Gannon Jones took on 2.0. Diamante faced Julia Hart. Diamante picking up the dub. Joey Janela took on Allin Angels. Winner of that one was Joey Janela. Sheeta went up against Kira Hogan. Sheeta picking up the victory via pinfall. Meanwhile, Lance Archer was in action as he took on Reggie Collins. Archer picking up the dub via pinfall. Sixth matchup for AEW Dark Elevation. Thunder Rosa took on Ray Lynn. Remember, Ray Lynn right now is 0-2. Rosa picking up the W via pinfall. Seventh match for Elevation. Pac taking on Anthony Bowens. Pac picking up the W via technical submission. Eighth matchup for Elevation. Brian Cage. Brian Cage saw action as he took on Joey Keys and defeated him via pinfall. Sammy Guevara. Got a nice, cool story to share about Sammy Guevara pretty much kicking off Dynamite for tonight, too, by the way. Sammy Guevara taking on Serpentinko. And Sammy picking up the victory on that one via pinfall. Jade Cargill saw action. She took on Katie Arquette. Pretty decisive victory. Jade Cargill picking it up. She's now 10-0. 10-0. Undefeated. Singles action. 10-0. 11 matchup. Lucha Brothers with Pac taking on Alex. Oh, wow. How do you pronounce this one? Good God almighty. I'll try to take a crack at it. Abrahantis versus the Hybrid 2. Oh, so this was a triple threat tag team matchup. Okay, gotcha. And Lucha Brothers picking up the W. So that was all the action that went down for Elevation. We just went over the dark card again for you guys that didn't maybe tune into the Monday show. So we gave you that. So pretty good, right? Pretty good. We were talking about Sammy Guevara there, teasing him just a little bit there. Something really cool he had did before dark had came on tonight. He actually proposed to his girlfriend. He proposed to her live in the middle of the ring. And I got to tell you, that's some cool shit. If you're going to propose to your spouse, you're going to do it out in the open publicly and all that. What better way to freaking do it than pretty much do it with a bunch of wrestling fans, with a bunch of like-minded fans, and to basically do it, you know, in such a really cool setting where years from now, especially if you end up having kids and your kids say, hey, mommy, daddy, you know, how did you guys end up getting married? You know, what happened? You got a cool story to tell. And the fact that they're going to be able to share that really cool moment. I want to share for you guys just a photo that came from that. And I apologize to our listeners that tune in and, you know, they check out the audio versions only of the show. You really should make it be an effort to check out the webcast versions of the show, because when I start to show images, and not to mention you get to see some of my facial expressions that I make talking about some of the stuff that we talk about here, and you also get to interact with the community here. But how badass is that? I mean, just pretty much gets in one knee. And luckily we saw a little bit of the footage from this moment, because they played just a little bit of it when Dynamite was actually on the air. And, he said to her, hey, we've known each other for a long time. And, just the nice setup that he had there. Totally in shock was the soon-to-be bride. Not expecting it whatsoever. But it was a happy, oh, no, you didn't kind of excitement, kind of surprise that's in the air. And I just love it. I just love it. And sincerely, man, a heartfelt congrats to soon to be Mr. and Mrs. Guevara. Sincerely, I sincerely mean that. And, there's no better feeling in the world than, when you're walking down that aisle and you're looking just slightly to, your left or your right, and you're looking at your bride to be, and you just go, this is it. I'm spending the rest of my days. I'm spending the rest of my life with this person. It's a huge step. It's a huge step. It is a huge commitment. It is definitely a partnership, definitely an equal partnership. It is just, it's so many things, and if you've already been in a long-term relationship with somebody and you've been at it for multiple years, then when you finally do decide, okay, let's go ahead and tie the knot, it's such an easy transition. It really, really is. I mean, man, I remember when me and the wifey first started dating, and some people may kind of find this to be a little bit, wow, you really, damn, you took your dear sweet time there. But I think you guys will understand why I had took my time, and it's not long-winded or anything, but I remember when me and my wife started dating, it was kind of one of those, I had literally just came out of a bad marriage, a very bad marriage. And, I was interested in dating again, but I definitely had wanted to take my time, make sure that, okay, really work on yourself, but also at the same time, don't be so quick to just jump into another relationship with somebody. And I just kind of found myself to be in a position where, what was originally just dating, I found myself just head over heels. And, one thing just led to another. And, next thing I know, here I am. I've been with this same woman now for 10 years. And then, in the process, now, when I initially popped the question, that's a different story. That's a different story for another time, because I had actually popped the question many years prior. But it didn't become official until about, I would say, 3 years ago is when I had finally officially popped the question, had the ring and everything. And, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful commitment, man. It really, really is. And I can tell you that for me, my first marriage, I never thought that I was going to get married again. I'm being totally honest with you guys. I never thought I was going to get married again. I just thought that all I would do would just continue to date, and that was pretty much going to be it. But, second time's the charm, man. Second time's the charm. So to the Guevara, sincerely, congrats. I wish you all nothing but true bliss, true happiness. And as I have been saying off and on in the shows these past couple of weeks, when it comes to preparing for weddings and all that, and I think you guys that have gone out of your way, listen to the shows, especially on demand and the downloads. I know most recently we talked about this on an episode of Wrestling with the Topics. It's a free-for-all available for you guys to check out on demand and the downloads. And, I said, look, you're a newlywed couple, or rather you're a couple that's, you got engaged, you're trying to, tie the knot and everything. You definitely want to make sure that preparation. You want to make sure that you spend as much time and energy as possible. Okay, where are we going to get married? Research. Which company are we going to go with to marry us? You make sure you're asking all the questions the best consumer is an educated consumer. So you definitely want to go in there and make sure you're asking all the right types of questions, especially when it comes to your wedding photos. What's the turnaround of it going to be? What's that whole process? You know, you want to make sure no stone is left unturned. That way, you know everything that's going on. You're down with it. Your spouse is down with it. And yeah, and then also you got to make sure you're putting in the same emphasis into your honeymoon for all that energy that you're exhausting on the ceremony, everything around the ceremony, including catering, your guests and reception and all of that stuff. You also want to make sure that you're putting that same amount of energy into your honeymoon, figuring out, okay, after this, what are we going to do the next day? Or after this, what are we going to do on this day and this day and this day? You got to make sure, like, I know for some people, especially our younger audience is like, I ain't got nothing to worry about right now. I'm years away from getting married and all that. But like, I see the analytics for our audience. I know a majority of our audience is between the ages of 21, no, like about 18 to 54 is our target audience. So I know there's a lot of people that definitely really can appreciate what I'm talking about. And I really hope that it doesn't fall on deaf ears because, you know, take it from me, I had to learn the hard way with this marriage, you know, going into the ceremony and everything. You know, if there were some things that I would change, that I could change, and it's not that many. The only thing I would definitely change is when it came to having our own photographers. And true story, it turns out some of our guests, or one of our guests that was at our wedding and came back with us to our wedding reception and all that, is actually Tam's best friend and everything. It turns out she has had a passion for photography for some decades. And there is a really cool, as a matter of fact, if you go on the YouTube channel, you can see my unveiling for my wedding canvas portrait. Very sweet. And that canvas, we finally got it up and hanging. I did a little bit of home improvement a couple of weeks ago. I got it hanging over our bedroom. It's beautiful. But it's huge. It turns out, I'm thinking this whole time, it was the photographer people. And this whole time, it was actually Tam's friend that took that picture. And it looks totally kick-ass. But it turns out, she's had a passion for photography for decades. Her husband, it turns out, is an ordained minister. And we're like, whoa, what are the freaking odds? So, on top of all of that, make sure you're also going around, getting a really good idea what's going on with your friends, knowing their strengths and all that, knowing some of their hobbies and all that, because you actually might be able to use that to your advantage when it comes to the wedding. But sincerely, man, nothing but love, nothing but respect. Congrats to the Guevaras. Really, really happy to hear that. I tell you what, was really awesome hearing Shawn Spears, because Shawn Spears, Sammy Guevara, were going to be seeing in-ring action tonight on Dynamite. It was pretty hilarious hearing Sammy Guevara's opponent and Spears come at him with the congrats and all that, and said, we're going to make you an honorary member of the Pinnacle just for one night. And hey, you should enjoy it. It's not every day I get to let someone else be on top, or something along those lines, and you're just like, whoa, Shawn, whoa, dude, like, whoa. All right, so what you're saying is you like being a bottom, like like, oh shit, like, come on, dude. Shawn Spears, Sammy Guevara, great fucking chemistry, as always. Great chemistry as always. I love these guys. Ever since they did what they did at the Stampede 2, I'm telling you, I have really been enjoying when these guys have been locking it up together there. And that actually wasn't the first match of the card, but, I'm just kind of going with the flow here and everything. So I hope you guys don't actually mind that. But the actual card for Dynamite, bear with me a second here, because I literally just had the Dynamite card not long ago here. Give me a second here. Because 1 minute I had it, and then the next minute it disappeared, and all that other good stuff. I tell you what, let me go about it this way. And I even like the fact that Shawn Spears had actually took little verbal jabs there at the oh, she said yes. Oh, how cute. She said yes. And giving his little nice little parting shots and all that. I was expecting for Guevara to actually do a little bit of horse playing there with Mrs. Guevara, right down to the point where maybe she gets, pretty hot-headed and slaps the living taste out of Spears' mouth, but we didn't get to that point. So, hey, never say never. It might still go down. We'll have to wait and see and everything. It might still go down, but let's see here. Yeah, I think that was like the second match of the evening that I'm thinking about. Yeah, it was. Nice, solid back and forth. Sammy Guevara picking up the match here. These two guys, mad props. They've been consistently good. Every single time they have locked up together. Consistently good. The thing that I don't really see, here's the thing. As interesting as it would have been to see Mrs. Guevara get involved in that and everything, you just kind of felt that, and this is just me, to each its own, and hopefully Sammy can shed a little bit more light on this in the coming days, but I just really felt that, okay, what a really cool, special, intimate moment this is here between a man and a woman. Did we really need to exploit the hell out of this and try to build some type of a story around it, so to speak? Did we really need to do that? I just kind of really felt that, look, if you want to come on Dynamite and at some point during the show, if you want to say, hey, fans, this is just some of the really cool special moments that you guys miss when you're not here in attendance. Can't stress it enough. You just never know what's going to happen at an AEW live event. Take this really cool moment that happened with Sammy Guevara, and then you go right into it. You show Sammy proposing to his woman, and to just come right back and say, hey, we want to thank the Guevaras for allowing us to share that special moment with all of you at home. I'm sure it was a great honor for those in attendance to see that really cool moment and be part of that moment, but for the Guevaras to also allow us to share that moment with all of you at home, hopefully you guys appreciate that. And, can't stress it enough, whenever AEW's at a town near you, like, now some people can look at what I just said and go, okay, yeah, Lee, that's a little, damn, that's kind of shameless plug in there to be going to a live event. And it's like, yeah, a little bit, but it's not as tacky as what went down there, seeing Sammy propose, and then essentially there's kind of like this story that's being built around it and everything. To each its own, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was almost divided right down the middle as far as how people have felt about that and everything. But yeah, great chemistry between these two guys here. Great bad blood between these guys, and you just feel, you know what? This ain't over. We got to keep on. We got to see these guys continue on. Please continue on. First matchup of Dynamite for the night. Sting was essentially in action. Sting, Darby Allin here. All right, so we had Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley. They came out. They're pretty much ready for their match and everything. All right. And this was kind of weird. This was kind of weird how it opened up and everything. You got the Wild Thing song playing in the background. Everything is just going nice and awesome. Crowd is white hot and everything. They're singing along to Wild Thing. And next thing you know, 2.0. They just come from out of nowhere and they beat the living crap out of Moxley and Kingston. Yeah, beat the crap out of them. From there, they get in the ring. They talk about how they hadn't forgotten what went down with Sting and Darby Allin. They want a piece of them. They want to know where a ref is because they ain't leaving until they get them a piece of Darby Allin and Sting. Lights go out. Sting makes his entrance. Darby's right behind 2.0 guys, hits them with a skateboard. Bell rings, pretty much it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. I mean, this was a very short, sweet matchup, maybe about 5 minutes at most. You just knew that Darby Allin, Sting were going to be going over. Let's really look at what was really at the heart of this, what was really the major selling point for this match, which was this is Sting's first match on TNT pretty much since WCW went out of business, since the final WCW aired on TNT. So, I mean, that was really your selling point going into this opener and everything. I mean, look, for me personally, it served the purpose if you're the Sting fan and you're like, oh, okay, get to see Sting do a little. And Sting looked pretty damn good for the little bit of stuff that he was doing. Stinger Splash, Scorpion, Deathlock, all that cool stuff. He even no-sold the hell out of a table spot that went down by 2.0. 2.0 had put him through a table, and he just pretty much no-sold the shit out of that, pounding his chest, all that craziness. But a good opener. You know, I can't really crap on it. I really can't. I just think it's kind of one of those. It's kind of one of those. If you were going into this matchup and you were really under the impression that you were going to be seeing a 10, 15-minute match, shame on you. Okay? Shame on you. You should know better by now. Okay? If you were hoping that it would be a little bit more competitive per se, you know, it's kind of like, you really shouldn't have expected that with this matchup. I think if you're going to be sour about this matchup in any type of way, and you would be within your right to feel a little bit sour. If you're looking at the team of 2.0 and you're saying to yourself, okay, look, not for nothing, especially if you know all things wrestling and everything, you know, if you're kind of saying, okay, not for nothing, but, you know, I know these guys were in WWE. I didn't really care for them over there, and I actually really don't care for these guys over here in AEW. You know, I feel you. And I'm definitely at a point here where I'm about ready to see Sting, Darby Allin move on, and, you know, let's do something else. Look, got to be honest with you. The great feud that they had going on there with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, I love that one. I really did not want that one to end. I really wish they would have been able to continue on there, but, you know, this is the direction that we're in right now. Now, remember what I said about Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston? Well, we actually would hear a little something from Jon Moxley later on in the night, but we'll talk about that as we approach it. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here. So we told you about the first two matches that came about on Dynamite tonight. See some other action that came about. Christian, now that I think about it, Christian was chatting it up backstage. He was being interviewed. I can't remember by who, but he was being interviewed about becoming a new Impact World Champion and everything. Don Callis walked up to him, talked about, hey, it's been a good minute since I've really seen you and everything, and it's kind of great what's been happening with you. I mean, man, here you are. I remember when you had got your first break in wrestling, and look at you now. You got the go, great win. Okay, cool. You know, we'll see if you can keep that going, that all out and everything. You'll finally get yourself a 5-star match you've been looking for your entire career when you take on Kenny Omega. You know, Christian pretty much comes right back and, you know, pretty much tells him he's a carny piece of shit, you know, when it's all said and done. So, look, you see those reports that's floating around now too. You know, now that Christian is the new Impact World Champion and everything, you got those rumblings that's now in the air about, yeah, what went down there at Triple Mania? Why wasn't Kenny Omega in a position where he dropped the AAA Mega Championship there to Andrade. Seemed like would have made all the sense in the world. What's going on there? Now you've got these reports. Not sure how true these reports are. So, of course, just take it with a grain of salt. But you definitely want to have it in the back of your mind, just kind of marinating on it a little bit. But apparently there was a lot of back and forth that was going on there with Triple Mania, where originally it was going to be Andrade. I mean, you hear the reports that, Tony Khan, as much as he would like for Andrade to be the man, they've got that All Out pay-per-view that's going to be coming up. And what they did with Christian Cage was all in the name of really making Christian Cage come off like a legitimate threat to Omega's championship reign, since he's being this whole Galactus belt collector and all that. Maybe, just maybe, there is a legit threat here to his championship. So you got that whole thing that's going on. Then you hear other reports where Tony Khan was actually down with Omega losing the championship to Andrade, but AAA officials decided, no, you know what, it's okay, let's go ahead. And so a lot of interesting stuff that's going on there that's in the air. One thing that is definitely the truth as far as Ric Flair's involvement at Triple Mania, Conan actually has shed a lot of light about this. I thought he was going to talk about this on his respective podcast, but he actually had revealed what went down in an interview. And he talked about how originally there was a famous pop star Mexican singer that they were trying to get to be in the corner of Andrade at Triple Mania. Sadly, it didn't come through. So Andrade actually revealed to Conan, hey, I think Ric Flair is actually going to be tagging along with me here to this event. He just happens to, going to be with me and everything. Conan heard that, and he pretty much was like, for real? Okay, well, if that's going to be the case, would love it if we could try to do a nice little spot with Ric Flair. Because originally, Ric was just going to be a guest, a special guest, probably chilling backstage or whatever. But Conan, his brains just started. He's like, okay, well, bump the singer. What's up with Flair? Flair was down with it. Omega actually did not know anything that was going on until pretty much once Flair pretty much was there. And then once Omega knew what was going on, he totally was down, and he even suggested, okay, well, how about Flair get physical? Can Flair give us some chops? Can he maybe do like a figure four? And they went back to Flair, and Flair was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I think that's pretty damn cool how everything had came together, considering all things happen for a reason, I believe. All things seem to happen for a reason. So, who to funk it? Seriously, who to funk it? And by now, hopefully some of you guys have made it be your business to check out that Triple Mania show, because when you look at the way Andrade has been built up in AAA compared to AEW, it is almost night and day. To a degree, you're looking at the same character, but he just comes off so much more cooler in AAA, so much more established, so much more well-rounded than what you've been getting of him with his American interpretation version in AEW. So hopefully Tony Khan and them, they can kind of mirror out some type of a better blueprint. And I don't know, honestly, if push comes to shove, maybe they can actually really, if they haven't done so already, maybe they can actually tap into the services of Conan, especially since you've got that AAA connection and all that. Maybe we can kind of do a better job flushing out Andrade a lot more for the American audiences, right? And kind of go from there. But it is what it is. Just something to think about, though. Just something to think about. Let's see from there. What else happened on Dynamite? Dan Lambert, man, I'm telling you, Dan Lambert. I've always been a big fan of Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert can talk with the best of them. I'm telling you, he can talk with the best of them. Phenomenal. That is a phenomenal. And he really is a diehard wrestling fan, a true diehard wrestling fan. if you did not watch WWE's Most Wanted Treasures, you really should go out of your way and check out that series, because you had one episode in particular where I'm trying to think who it was. I don't know if it was Mark Henry. I don't know. No, it wasn't Mark Henry. I can't remember which superstar it was, but somebody was looking for the Junkyard Dogs. I want to say it was the Junkyard Dogs collar for starters, and then there was a championship belt that they were looking for. And in regards to the championship belt, they somehow landed on the doorsteps of Dan Lambert, because according to their leads, if anybody knew what was going on with this particular title, Lambert was the guy to ask. And when they went into Lambert's house, Lambert had such the coolest fucking collection of world titles. And they asked him, they said, wow, this is an impressive collection. So are all of these replicas you've gotten over the years? And Lambert said to them, oh, no, these are actual championship belts that were worn by the champions. And they were like, whoa, these are actual titles? Like, yeah, these are actual titles, like not replicas. None of these are replicas. And you're like, I mean, god damn. My mind was just blown away when I saw his collection, and your mind will be blown away too when you see his collection. So he is a diehard. I remember this guy as far back as fucking Impact Wrestling. I remember when he was going in there, and briefly he was in the camp for Bobby Lashley and everything. And I remember just kind of looking at him way back then and seeing him as a on-screen personality, and I legit felt that, okay, as far as I won't say non-celebrities, but as far as non-wrestling athletes, that's a better way to put it. As far as non-wrestling athletes go, I felt Dan Lambert he got it. He understands the business. He understands the art, the importance of storytelling. He gets it. And every time I have seen him, from his days in Impact all the way to now, he's always delivered as far as I was concerned. And he delivered another home run tonight. And it's quite amazing when you think about it, because the promo that he cut out there, you could damn sure make an argument that what he went out there and did tonight, not only did he kill it, but those on that AEW roster that's continuing to struggle, flushing out their respective personalities, struggling, putting together a decent promo, they can learn a thing or two from Dan Lambert. And that's no exaggerating whatsoever. And that doesn't just end with AEW as well. If you are a wrestler that's currently on TV every single week, and you're struggling with your mic game, and you're looking at Dan Lambert and you're going, Jesus Christ, it's like that. So great moment that he had there, owning the crowd once again. I actually like this performance of his on the mic better than what he did the last go round. But yeah, some of the bullet points, he talked about how he never thought this country would turn into a place where the rich and powerful can silence critics. He uses words like triggered and millennials, and calls the crowd cowards. They know that the UFC contracts won't allow fighters in a wrestling ring, so he went on ahead and placed a phone call to Dana White and got that problem fixed, as joining him in the ring was Junior Dos Santos and Andre Arlovsky. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I butchered that, forgive me in advance. And he pretty much puts a challenge out there that if anybody was feeling kind of froggy, come out there and jump. Lance Archer actually had responded. He pretty much had heard enough. And there's a lot more that Dan Lambert had said, but we'll pretty much just leave it right about there. But Lance Archer comes out. He's about to get him a piece of all three of them guys, when all of a sudden he's jumped from behind by Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Meanwhile, Lambert and company, they're in the ring, they're smiling. They're enjoying what they're seeing. So interesting development that we got right here with the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer. You know, I mean, fresh off of his title defense too, for that IWGP US title that he lost to Tanahashi. And I actually saw just some of the highlights. I saw some of the match highlights for that match, what Moosehead did as well. And I got to tell you, particularly in regards to Moose taking on Tomohiro, if you guys are a Moose fan, I would definitely say the New Japan Pro Wrestling subscription for $10 a month is worth the admission for this month, just so you can watch New Japan Pro Wrestling's resurgence. Because what Moose did against Tomohiro Ishii, what he did against Ishii, fucking A. Best fucking match I've seen of Moose in 2021. Best fucking match. If I had to go with a second, just for Moose, we're talking, just for Moose. If I got to go with a second match that was phenomenal for him, I'm probably, I believe that happened in 2021 as well. I probably would have to go with Moose and EC3. I believe that was in 2021 as well. Matter of fact, let me just look at it real quick. I don't need anybody to check. I can actually check myself here, because I know sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. So bear with me here, and I can actually find out. Let's see. I'm actually looking at it now. Wow, no, that was actually 2020. Wow, that's hard to believe. It was like almost 7 months ago. That's crazy. Yeah, so then I got to correct myself as far as 2021 goes, you know, and not for nothing, we haven't really seen that much of Moose, you know, match-wise and everything, but just thinking about some of the stuff I've seen of him so far in 2021, yeah, I definitely gotta give it up for this match. Now, I can definitely jump out there and I can go a step further and just look at the amount of matches that Moose has had within the past 3 years, maybe even 5 years, and this was just, he was at his absolute best in this matchup. So great New Japan resurgence card overall. I personally felt, again, I just saw just highlights of most of the matches, but the one that stood out to me, I went out of my way and just looked a lot of, was the Moose Ishii match. That was definitely pretty good. Let me run down the New Japan resurgence card later for you guys, because I know we're still talking, you know, AEW, but, you know, this is how we do on the show, man. We just kind of go a little bit back and forth. But the main reason why I had brought up resurgence again was because on that resurgence card, Murder Hawk, the Murder Hawk, I'm drawing a blank. Sorry about that. Lance Archer, he had defended the IWGP US title against Tanahashi, and Hiroshi Tanahashi actually came out with the dub. So he's now the new US title champion. So you're like, whoa, you know, what the hell? So I thought that was kind of interesting how we got Lance Archer, the way it's kind of being built up now. You could kind of make an argument that Lance Archer is kind of coming off like a babyface almost here, the way that it's kind of developing here. And, you know, I like the fact that it hasn't felt forced. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but it's just felt that it's been this organic thing that's been happening here with the Murder Hawk. And so I like where this is going. But, man, you talk about a strong numbers game that's not in Lance Archer's favor right now. You can't help but wonder, okay, well, when it counts the most, who are going to be allies here for Lance Archer if he's able to find any allies? And honestly, I don't think Lance Archer is gonna have to go that far. I no bullshit, I only see the 2.0 thing with Sting and Darby Allin only going but so far. And you know Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, they're gonna want a piece of 2.0. They are gonna you know they're gonna murder those boys. You know they're gonna murder those boys so good we're not gonna be seeing them for a couple of weeks. So especially as far as keeping up with consistency and all that goes. Why not come full circle with Sting and Lance Archer? Not for nothing, but it was just a few months back. We kept getting teased there where it was looking as though maybe those two were going to have some type of a matchup. Remember? I've been talking passionately about that for months now, and how it just got ice cold all of a sudden, and we went in a completely other direction, and it was never really explained to us, hey, what happened? So you want to talk about a way to kind of make things come full circle? That's maybe one way to do it. Maybe you can have Lance Archer, squash whatever was going on between him and Sting officially here. Those guys get on the same page. Boom, put Darby Allin in there. And, and then from there, all right, so that's Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky. You got them intertwined yet again. I don't really feel that anything is going to continue on here with those MMA fighters and Dan Lambert. I hope I'm right on this one, because honestly, I'm not. Stranger things have happened, but it's kind of like I'm just kind of going with the psychology and the way things have been laid out right now. And for me, it's just kind of one of those, okay, do we really need to go the route where we got to introduce even more new people for people to try to get themselves familiar with, when they are going to be just an afterthought in the coming days, because people are going to be all on cloud nine over the new names that's going to be coming into AEW very shortly? You feel where I'm coming from? So it just kind of feels for me right now, and hopefully Tony Khan and them are being very smart about it. Hopefully they're saying to themselves, okay, look, because sometimes you got to do that. It's no different than, you are saying to your spouse, or you have a child, and the child is always coming up to you. I want this. I got to get this. Please, won't you get me this? I need this. I need that. Please, gimme. After a while, you get to that point where you go, okay, look, no more gifts until Christmas. No more, okay? We got to go 7 months straight here. No more gifts. Not until Christmas. We keep getting you stuff. Ain't really no need to be going into Christmas, and because you're going to already have everything. It's kind of like one of those type of deals. So we got to tread very lightly here. We got to tread very, very lightly here. Let's see here. Going back to Dynamite. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Jurassic Express taking on the Young Bucks. Young Bucks retaining the titles. Fun ass match. Seriously, that was actually a pretty fun ass match. I always tell you guys, and it's kind of been, I know Young Bucks get a lot of hate. I know they get a lot of hate. My only constructive criticism about the Young Bucks has just always been, which type of Bucks are we going to be getting? Are we going to get the Bucks that are going to be coming in here and they want to tell some type of a really cool story? Or are we going to get some Bucks that's going to come in here and they're essentially going to, just be phoning it in, and, it's just pretty much all about them getting in signature hits and, a little bit of showboating, a lot of showboating, and that's pretty much it. But no, tonight, this was actually one of those type of Young Bucks matches where they went into this being entertaining, fun in the ring, big time. Jailed very good there with the Jurassic Express. I got to say, and I love the fact that there were built up the team of Jurassic Express. I love that they went into this, and what's been happening with them off and on these past couple of weeks, that they have been crossing paths with the Young Bucks. Loving the fact that they've been built up to essentially be these legit contenders that pose a threat. Truly pose a threat to their championships. And seeing this match tonight, many times during this match, you were really under the impression that, it really could be a Jurassic Express night here. Fun ass match. Definitely a fun ass match. Now, Omega and Gallows, they did make their presence felt in this one. Christian did try to come out, balance the odds out and everything, but yeah, he pretty much got his ass handed to him. I mean, Jurassic Express, everybody, but particularly Christian, they owned his ass big time. Even Don Callis getting in a little bit of kicks, not for nothing. Let's see, what else? Paul White segment with Tony Schiavone as QT Marshall takes a couple of cheap shots at Paul White. Surgeries that he's gotten in 18 months, as he's gotten some bolts, screws in his hip area and all that. Paul White basically revealing, there's a lot more to the story that you're saying right now that you don't know. He reveals to QT Marshall he talked to Tony Khan, and Big Show is going to have a match. And this match is going to be going down with QT Marshall. Yeah, with QT Marshall. And as far as when that match is going to be happening, that match is going to be happening. Bear with me a second here. That match is going to be happening at All Out. It's going to be QT Marshall taking on Paul White. It is what it is. Hey, look, for me, I'm good. But it is what it is. I mean, look, you knew that Paul White was going to be wrestling at some point. And look, you can tell who's really paying attention to all things wrestling, all things connected to shit wrestling related, because not for nothing, there was a WWE Chronicle special on the Big Show. We reviewed that thing on this show months back. And you had followed the Big Show during his difficult journey, getting his rehab on and all of that. And remember how that special ended? In case you don't remember how that special ended, let me refresh your memory. The special ended with this weird graphic that pops up talking about how Big Show is 100% healthy. He's in the clear. He's just patiently waiting to return to the main roster. That's pretty much how it ended. So combine that with some of the stuff that was happening with Big Show in the WWE since the release of that special. And everything coincides definitely with what all he's been talking about as far as the circumstances of him leaving the WWE and all that. So, but he's been healthy for a good minute now. A good minute. So, look, me, honestly, happy he's getting an opportunity to still perform and all of that. And look, for newer fans that maybe didn't get a chance to check out some of his stuff a couple of years prior. I mean, look, he ain't no Kurt Angle or anything like that, but you'll definitely be entertained. Look, he's a big ass special attraction when it's all said and done. I can't wait to, look, legit, there's a part of me that definitely, well, good for him. Happy that he's going to be wrestling. It's like, what more can I say? I really can't say anymore. I don't think even the veteran wrestling fan that's been watching the career of Big Show all these years can really say anything. It's just kind of like, okay, well, good for him. It's like, not for nothing, but we kind of already know where this match is going to go. So, yeah, next. Jade Cargill promo. Oh, my God, I died and went to heaven here. So, Rampage this Friday is going to be fucking lit. So we get this promo with Jade Cargill and her manager. They're talking about Kiera Hogan, great streak that she's been on and everything. And they also talk about how, as a result of this streak, Kiera Hogan's been on, way she's been making an impression. That kind of a streak, just the impression that she's been having, turning heads and everything, especially on social media, trying to give Kiera Hogan a little bit of a bone here is what Jade Cargill is doing. So on Rampage this Friday is going to be Jade Cargill taking on Kiera Hogan. I am looking forward to that matchup, y'all. I cannot wait to see that. Two of my absolute favorites. Was I not just here on this show last week? Not last week. I wish it was last week. No, I was just on this show Monday. And I had said to you guys in regards to Rampage, this would be a great avenue for the Jade Cargills, for the Sunny Kisses, for the Tay Contis, and insert whatever other name you want to insert that, okay, let's see them go in here and let's see them be put in regular rotation and all that. So to see two of my absolute favorites this Friday getting it on should be a damn good matchup. Meanwhile, Tony Schiavone informs informs the Elite that Tony Khan has announced there is going to be a tag team eliminator tournament and that the winners of it will face the Bucks for the titles, steel cage match at All Out. And right now, the teams, it looks like it's going to be Private Party, Lucha Brothers, Jurassic Express, and the Varsity Blondes. They all are going to be part of this tag team eliminator tournament. So let me tell you what's going on here, because I actually had to take a lot of notes for Rampage and bear with me here. I had to take a lot of notes here for Rampage and for next week's Dynamite. Okay, so Dynamite next week, Malachi Black will be taking on Brock Anderson. Varsity Blondes will face the Lucha Brothers. That's a tag team eliminator there. But then remember, this Friday on Rampage, Private Party will be facing Jurassic Express. Then you got Kiera Hogan taking on Jade Cargill. Jon Moxley will be in action as he'll take on Daniel Garcia. So pretty loaded up two shows that's going down between Friday and going into next Wednesday. See, other than that, probably one of the most awkwardest moments of the entire night was Taz in the ring with his son Hook, and they were introducing the new FTW champion and Ricky Starks. And Ricky Starks came out. He was talking, hot trash about Brian Cage. And the next thing because he pretty much was saying how, somehow it seems like he and Brian Cage, they keep missing each other. Well, let's have a face-off. Let's talk face-to-face. What's up? So you hear the music of Brian Cage come on. No Brian Cage, though. And the next thing you know, cuts backstage. You see Hobbs standing over Cage. Cage is laid out on the ground, holding himself as Hobbs just continues to lay the assault on him. It cuts right back to Ricky Starks, who's screaming for the video to cut while Starks runs to the back. Taz and Hook, they pretty much run to the back as well. And that pretty much was the end of that segment. Never got a follow-up after that. That was just one of the most... it's one thing if you're gonna... Okay. But even at that, it was kind of a very awkward, for that segment. But to not follow up later on in the night was just... Yeah, kind of one of those deals. Schiavone backstage chatting it up with Death Triangle. That Triangle, they talked about the tag team eliminator. Pac has a message for Andrade. Pretty much says, okay, anytime, anywhere. All right, well, you know what? It's on. I accept. Let's do this. Pac's ready to fight. He wants to do this. Andrade pops up, says, well, All Out in Chicago. Pac says, that's fine. Let's freaking do it. So that's going to be an interesting development right there. Oh, by the way, there was also something kind of funny here. Chavo presented a 500-page encyclopedia booklet of a contract for Death Triangle to read as far as the conditions for if Pac is really serious about doing this match against Andrade. So he's got to go through this this Bible of an encyclopedia here before he can do this match. Yeah, that should be very, very lovely. My dark horse match of the night, I got to give it up to Thunder Rosa and Penelope Ford. They actually did pretty good. I was actually, and look, we already know by now, Thunder Rosa, muy bueno, muy bueno. Bonita, bonito, bonita, bonita. it was all about Penelope Ford, though. She has definitely shown me some stuff in ring wise. She's coming along. I gotta say, she's definitely coming along. I'm definitely gonna give her roses. I'm definitely gonna give her props. She's definitely coming along. MJF taking on Chris Jericho. That was your main event match. Only 5 matches for this card tonight, believe it or not. MJF defeating Chris Jericho. Yeah, buddy. Way this one pretty much had wrapped up. Jericho, remember this matchup. Jericho came out, no entrance music, could not use the Judas effect. You're like, oh man, well that fucking sucks. He can't use the Judas effect. He ain't got no, okay, so how the hell is he going to win this? So when Jericho tried to go for the Judas effect, he caught himself realizing he couldn't do that. So yeah, no mas. Well, MJF eventually turns the tides and he uses the Judas effect on Jericho. You talk about adding insult to injury there. That's just wrong. Jericho rolls up MJF into a pin. There's a count out. And salt of the earth. MJF managed to apply that bad boy not once but twice and pretty much made Jericho tap out. Yeah, Jericho tapped out via submission. I got to tell you, I've been looking at a lot of Jericho matches in AEW thus far. This was probably one of the best TV matches on AEW that Jericho has had. One of the best, and I'm not exaggerating that whatsoever. I think real Jericho fans need to be completely honest with themselves. And, you know, look, we all love Chris Jericho. We all appreciate his contributions to the business. We all definitely appreciate the contributions he's been making to AEW and everything. But there's been a lot of instances where you look at Jericho and you kind of say, well, you know, hey, it's Jericho. But yeah, it wasn't really that good of a performance. It happens. He's getting up there in age and, you know, you're like, okay, well, he's making up for it in other ways. That's how you kind of make it have sense in your head. And it's not something that you say to yourself as a front. You're just legit. Well, he's making up in other ways. And he has been. But no, I legit believe that this was one of his best matches. I'm not putting it at number 1. I'm just saying this was one of his best TV matches on AEW in quite some time. And we've seen a lot of Jericho in AEW. I appreciate the fact that the way this match was laid out and everything, you know, not only did Jericho go into this not looking run down physically, not looking, you know, exhausted and the age is really getting to him, the limited mobility. No, I like the way just the whole psychology, everything about this was laid out beautifully. And the surprising fact that MJF got the dub, the way in which MJF got the dub, I think that just speaks large volumes for itself, especially from the standpoint of just how much respect Jericho has for MJF. Because if you ever wanted to, okay, I don't mind him winning, but let's throw some bullshit shenanigans in this and, you know, maybe a poke to the eye or this person has to come out or this other person has to, and they didn't go that route. They did not go that route, right down to the point. There were no motherfuckers from the Pinnacle or motherfuckers from the Inner Circle involved in this match. This was just straight up all about these two. These two know any and everything about being a dirty player because they've got all the fucking volumes at their home, okay? So this was pretty much just all about who's going to really come out on top in a battle of the wits, who's going to be the quickest. That's what this was pretty much all about. And MJF essentially got the upper hand here. I love the way that this was laid out. I really, really did. Nice, good balance of an episode. Not too much emphasis on promo times, right amount of emphasis on wrestling matches. You could make an argument, though, 5 matches, 2 hours. Maybe we could have squeezed in maybe 2 more. You could definitely make a argument for that one. For me, I definitely would have to say low point for the episode. Just the whole QT Marshall, Paul White stuff. I don't really care about that, but love the progressions that we got going on there. Because now that MJF has defeated Jericho, now you can't help but wonder, okay, so what's next? What's next for MJF now that he essentially, once again has gotten in some form the best of Jericho? What's next? Is now MJF, is he maybe going to try to lay some type of claim that he wants next for the AEW World Championship? Is that maybe in the cards for him in the future? Or is maybe MJF going to try to go after the TNT Championship? What's next for MJF here? Jericho, same thing. What's next for Jericho? Is Jericho maybe going to, what's the Fozzy schedule looking like? Is Jericho maybe about to take a little R&R for a hot little bit? Jericho's little break is got to pop up sooner or later. So what's going on with that? It's like a whole lot of what if questions that's going on there. Also, I would have to say the progression there that we got of Sting, Darby Allin, Moxley. We were talking about Moxley earlier. Yeah, his promo, he pretty much, let me actually go to the notes that I had wrote down for his promo here. He pretty much was on a big old rant. He was pissed off backstage. He was talking about running through Christian, and he named him specifically. He said, if I have to go through Christian, I will do so. If I have to go through Omega, yeah, that's fine. And he talked about how he'll see everybody Friday. Basically, from what I kind of gathered, because at this point I was getting myself prepared for the show, from what I gathered, just 2 cents from a distance, and I could be wrong, but from what I gathered, Moxley's promo was all about, you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of motherfuckers doing cheap attacks, trying to think they can get one-ups on me. The disrespect that I've been getting, I bust my ass, my blood, my sweat, my tears. I made a lot of sacrifices for this company. I carried this company on my back during some really dark periods in pro wrestling. Hell, during a goddamn pandemic, I carried this company. I put this company on my shoulders, and look at how I'm being treated now. And that was my message. Again, my interpretation. And pretty much not Omega, but Moxley just drawing the line in the sand and saying, no more. I don't care who you are. I'm going to show to every single one of you mofos why I'm the baddest motherfucker there is. I don't care who you are. And then going into that whole Christian, Omega, and then saying, I'll see you Friday. So I'm kind of under the impression, I could be wrong, but I'm kind of under the impression here that Moxley may end up possibly getting in the face of whoever is maybe going to be debuting this Friday on Rampage as a new AEW signee. So he very well could be getting in the face of CM Punk, or maybe it's Daniel Bryan. He could be getting in one of those guys' faces. Or maybe it's a troll job. Maybe Kenny Omega comes out and proclaims himself to be the best in the world, especially after the ass whooping he gave Christian tonight. A whole lot of interesting elements going on here. It's really, when you think about how Rampage is, the way they set things up for this Friday, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I see what you guys are posting in the comment section, by the way. I'll definitely get to that. I'm trying to do a better job letting you guys know that I'm seeing your comments and I'll get to them. It's like a lot of shit that we got to process, make sense out of, and and, you know, kind of run through it and everything. But yeah, pretty good episode of Dynamite, I would have to say. So you guys been enjoying yourself so far. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. When you do that, helps us out a ton as far as recommendations go. So do that. Appreciate that in advance. All right, let's see some of these comments we got here so far from you guys here. Let me just switch out real quick. Oh, well, bring that back. There we go. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Let's see here. Steven, CM Punk AEW debut. I can't wait for it. Can't wait for him and Daniel Bryan. I'm hoping they get Adam Cole too. Big fan of AEW. Let's see what else we got here. One question. Can I see WWE putting Big Show in the Hall of Fame? I think the better way you need to ask that question is, will WWE entertain putting Big Show in its Hall of Fame while Big Show is still an active wrestler working for a competitor? I think that's the better question that you need to ask. And if history has shown you anything, unless you are a Ric Flair, that's probably the one time that I can recall. And I mean, for like another major wrestling promotion, the only other time I can recall is when Ric Flair was in TNA and WWE pretty much picked up the phone, made that call to Dixie Carter, let them know, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. Would you be willing to work with us? And they did work out an arrangement, and pretty much the rest was history. So, you know, you're asking me to make a prediction. You know, it's one thing if you were to ask me for my personal opinion. If you're asking me for a personal opinion, that's one thing. If you're just generalizing it and asking me if I can just, yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how to answer that. So you got to be a little bit more specific about that question, because there's a couple of different ways I can look at that. So please be more specific with that question. But again, unless you are like that Ric Flair status, right? I mean, make no mistake about it, Big Show is a WWE Hall of Famer. There's no mistake about that, especially his contributions during the Monday Night War. Make no mistake about it. The question is, will he go into the Hall of Fame while he is still a active in-ring competitor for another promotion? Or when he is officially done, maybe he just, okay, no, I'm just going to go totally backstage. That's going to be it for me. Do you maybe then give him a nod? All right, let's see what else we got here. What about Jericho versus Nick Gage? What about Jericho versus Nick Gage? That wasn't a wrestling match. That was a fight. That was a hardcore fight. That was a hardcore match. I'm sorry, but, you know, and sorry, not sorry, but I particularly did not care for that. And I'm usually a fan of the hardcore stuff. I thought a lot of that stuff was totally unnecessary, totally not needed. I didn't particularly care for it. My thoughts on AEW signing too many former... okay, so let's do this. And I'm not being rude or anything, so don't take this the wrong way. Obviously, you're new because I've never seen your handle before. We've talked about this at great length. Let me see. Let me give proper respect too. And that's a funny ass handle too. Get DUI, get free title match. You're obviously new, so welcome. But we've talked about how Tony Khan and them needs to be very careful about all these signings that they're doing. And if I'm not mistaken, we most recently talked about it. Let me see. A matter of fact, I can point you to the exact episode because we talked about this already, like at least within the past week to a week and a half. I'm actually looking at the show archives right now. And this goes to anybody. Like, I like getting questions, but try to think of a question and I'll be more than happy to answer it. Try to think of a question that probably hasn't been tackled. Because, you know, when you ask me a kind of like a commonly asked question, typically I'm going to refer to you to a key show. Looking at one of the shows here. Bear with me here. No, not that one. I'm pretty sure it was... I'm actually going to look at these. I'm actually going to look at these four. I'm pretty sure it's one of these four. Let's see here. Right, so it's definitely not that one. Okay, that's fine. And let's see. No, not that one. Okay. Bear with me, folks. I'm just looking here. I know we definitely brought it up briefly on Monday's show, but there was another show where we went real deep into it. Let me see here. And which one was this? This was on April 4th. All right, bear with me, folks. I'm only going to spend a couple of more seconds on this. Yeah, I think going forward, probably another thing that we're probably going to have to start doing too. I think we're probably going to have to ultimately go back to doing show excerpts. Let me see here. Let me see. Nope. Nah, we don't need that one. I remember this one. Nope. Wait a minute. Yeah, as a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, if you go to the August 2nd, 2021 edition of the RCWR show, again, the August 2nd, 2021 edition of the RCWR show is available on demand and on the downloads. It's titled Bray Wyatt and Ric Flair, More on the Horizon. I talked about those respected releases. And then there was another episode that we had did. Matter of fact, that episode from August 2nd. And then there is the Get on the Bus. WWE releases Strike Yet Again. That episode was on August 6th. So you got those two respected episodes. And I brought up at great length how AEW and Tony Khan need to be very, very careful. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, Steven, I think as early as on Monday's show, but definitely what we've been dubbing Tony Khan as the past 2.5 weeks now, we've pretty much been saying, gotta catch 'em all, wrestle 'em on. You know, we're pretty much going the Pokemon route with Tony Khan. So I would recommend you check out those two episodes because you got to understand where I'm coming from and where longtime listeners are coming from. That's kind of not fair to the longtime listeners that already listened at great length to some of the points, many points I had brought up with that question that you had asked. That wouldn't be fair to have them sit through that all over again when it's kind of one of those, well, no, just go check out these episodes and you'll definitely get a really good sense what we're talking about and all that. All right, so we got a lot more content that we got to go through here. So far, it looks like we've been on here for about 90 minutes. Just a couple more things I want to talk about here. I will get to the talk of NXT So definitely stay with me on that one. I only want to mention key points about NXT, but let's talk about some other stuff. For one, let's talk about some AEW ratings real quick here and what I think might be going down for this week. So look, we know that as far as this past last Wednesday's AEW Dynamite, they did relatively good. They were in the 900,000s for that episode. As a matter of fact, they did about, I had just saw it too. Bear with me here. I had just saw the number too. I think it was like 900. Feels like it was 979,000 or something like that. Let me look here. Yeah, 979,000 they had there for the August 11th episode of Dynamite. So that's pretty damn good. Down just by about 11% compared to the following week's episode. I'm going to say for this week, AEW, let me see, and I'm actually typing this up as we speak. My AEW Dynamite projection, I'm going to say 997,000. I'm going to say 997,000. And I'm kind of going that route because I think there's going to be definitely the curiosity. I think there's going to be the buzz and all of that. I definitely think that the viewership is going to be up. Not by much, but I definitely think the viewership is going to be up because people are very curious about what's going down as they try to prepare themselves for that Friday's Rampage episode. That's how I'm kind of looking at that. And while we're also talking about ratings, shout out to WWE Raw. They did pretty good as well with what I had saw of their numbers. As a matter of fact, bear with me here, because I literally was looking at their numbers the other day, and I was like, oh, shit, that's actually pretty damn good. Their numbers, hang on here. Let's see here. Go to my list here. I want to say, yeah, here it is. I think. Hang on, guys. Yeah, their numbers were up. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 1.857 million viewers this past Monday's Raw did. So up by a little bit. It's up from the previous episode of 1.790 million viewers. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. So, and again, I think curiosity going into SummerSlam, all that good jazz. That's how you can pretty much chalk all of that up. So let's address an elephant in the room here. Did you guys see what was going on with the Ric Flair photo? The supposed Ric Flair photo? So if you guys had missed it, and no, I'm not going to show it. I got to be respectful because we got to make sure that as far as, young audiences go and all that, you feel me? So, but I mean, just the visual presentation, you guys get it. You guys fucking get it. So Ric Flair was trending for several hours. Apparently he was trending for almost 24 hours. Wow. That's just crazy to hear that. So some guy that was on a public train took a picture of this man and just the way that this guy shot this angle was kind of alarming too. You could tell that this guy was shooting this from a position where I don't know how many of you guys have ever gotten on board of a public train, but the one thing about a public train when you're on those tracks, at some points there'll be some turns that you'll have to go through, and sometimes, if you're just looking straight ahead, sometimes you can see in the next train car what's going on within reason, within certain range. Okay. Now, in this particular case, it appeared as though where this guy was sitting, again, looks can be deceiving, but it kind of came off as where he was sitting, all he had to do was just get up, and the next thing you know, he could have opened the car door and he would have been on the next train car if he wanted to. But he decides he wants to take this picture of this guy that's on his knees, shirt on. I don't know if his pants were on, but the guy's bent over, got the woman's legs over his shoulders, and the guy is pleasing his woman orally. And, so many people were focused on the hair and everything, and a lot of people were under the impression, now that's Ric Flair. And so all of a sudden, boom, that's how you got Ric Flair trending and all that. And, it's amazing because, and I said this on social media, and some people were just like, oh, boo. It's like, no boo. That's the truth. But it's kind of like what I was saying online earlier, which is, so we got to have all these people. We got all these people that are commenting about this that have essentially act as if they've never had sex in public before in their entire lives. All these people, they can do no wrong. They're perfect. All these people that's either passing judgment, making fun, doing all this other shit. We're making this news. A guy that's orally, we're making this news. But some people were, no, but it's not just any person, Lee. It's Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the one that's publicly having sex with somebody. It's like, and? It's like you're talking to somebody that grew up on Ric Flair. We literally just talked about on Monday's show how I grew up on Ric Flair. Like, and like for us old school Ric Flair fans, yeah, we've heard some stories. Like, yeah, that fits him. He's the nature boy. Woo, yeah. So what else is new? Besides the fact that supposedly it's him and he's pleasing, first of all, I'm automatically saying to myself, first of all, this sounds like a whole bunch of bullshit. But even if it's true, why should we care? Is it that slow of a news day? We got all the fucked up shit going on in Afghanistan and all this other shit. And slow news day, we are just going to focus more about this guy that is pleasing his woman on the train. God. And I just got to a point where I just let people have it online. I said, I take it. Most of you have never in your life, because you all are gushing over this alleged pic floating around of Ric Flair, you guys have probably never gotten laid or something. Like, what the hell? And I said, seriously, people, go get laid. Some of you have no lives. In case you didn't know, Flair's been that wild for decades. And we had some people comment, and this is no shots at them. I just hope that it's not their, just hope that it's actually their wife. Just hope it's his wife. Again, I don't care. It's none of my business. It's none of your business. What business is it of ours? Just because something happens out in the public, it doesn't mean that it needs to be our business. Worst case scenario, you're walking down the street, you're on a train, you're on an airplane, and you happen to doze off. You wake up and you happen to see somebody getting a blowjob. Or you see somebody sucking a boobie or whatever. What are you going to do? You're either going to look the other way in embarrassment, or you're going to still in a little bit of a peek, because you kind of freaky like that. You're going to look and see what's going on, and then probably quietly excuse yourself to the restroom and take care of your business. Or maybe if you got your own significant other with you, take them in that bathroom and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And that's pretty much going to be the end of it. And then there's some that will just be so brazen, may actually go over to that couple. Can I join? Right? Being for real. It can happen. Okay? But any one of those scenarios could possibly happen. But never in my wildest dreams Would I expect for anyone to, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bust out my camera phone. I'm going to take a picture of this guy that's orally pleasing this woman. And I'm going to post it on social media. And it's kind of like, and you know, that guy could have easily, I never did see a post from that guy saying, hey, no, this is not Ric Flair. From what I was kind of able to see, it's not Ric Flair. He just let this shit just get all out of hand. And, you know, I did see like a couple of little follow-up joints, but there was nothing really definitive. That was just, and the way that the dirt sheets and just everybody that was just, oh yeah, it's Ric Flair because, motherfuckers were eyeballing the woman's ankle tattoo. Think about that for a second. Motherfuckers were analyzing. All of a sudden, everybody's got a degree in forensic analysis. I guess a motherfucker's been watching so many episodes of CSI and Deadly Women and Forensic Files that they've got their PhD and being able to crack such precious evidence of identifying a motherfucker by looking at their tattoo. Yes, I bullshit you not. Motherfuckers were actually blowing up the photo. Oh, you know, this tattoo is clearly and there's only but X amount of women that have this tattoo and the process of elimination. People hitting up Ric Flair. Rick, you got some explaining to do. Rick, with the picture. Rick, you got some explaining to do. How do you explain this, Rick? This goes back to what I've been talking about religiously on this show these past handful of months, which has been FOMO, fear of missing out. It all ties to the social media. Everybody wants to feel like they are part of that social media trend. They are part of that social media movement that's going on, because to not be a part of it, they're fearing that they're going to be missing out. For some, missing out on their opportunity to, ooh, I got my likes. Oh, I got a retweet. Hey, I picked up this couple of new follows. You know, for others, oh man, this is a perfect opportunity to push my shitty new album that just dropped. How's that relevant to... It's not. I'm just trying to take advantage of the trend. I'm trying to get noticed. Again, FOMO, fear of missing out. That's what it's all about. And I saw it on full display today. It was ridiculous. Full display. Right down to the people that were hitting up Flair. Now, Flair, man, what a pro. What a pro. He put out this post. His face. His face over a little cartoon train conductor. Woo, woo. And he had... woo, woo. And he had the following thing to say with this caption here. He had the following to say. And bear with me a second here. And I'm actually gonna... Car shield, make cars go farther. You know, blue chew, woo, makes dicks go farther. You know, kind of that whole shit. But here's what Ric Flair had to say in regards to that little photo he had posted here. Oh shit, where is it? I just had the motherfucker. This picture is as real as the other one floating around. The nature boy doesn't ride trains. Woo! Woo! So look, I commend him for being a good sport about it, but in just that one simplistic post, he also put to rest those rumors that were floating around that it was him. This is the type of society that we have that's running around, man. It's like, it's amazing how news gets created and how it manifests and how it just, escalates to the point of, wait a minute, just how exactly did this start? It almost goes back to the whole, hey, did you hear what happened to Tim? No, what happened to Tim? Man, Tim's arm got broken. Oh, man, how did it get broken? Tim was doing some yard work and he fell off a ladder. Oh, that's so unfortunate. And then somehow that initial story that gets shared with that first person, by the time it gets to the 10th person, now it's turned into, oh, man, did you hear about Tim? Oh, what happened? Oh, it was so unfortunate. He met some type of abuse. What? Yeah, he was abused. Apparently he was doing some work, and the next thing you know, somebody pushed him off a ladder and started beating him up. You're like, what? Meanwhile, Tim, right? No clue what the hell's gone down and everything. But that's how it is with social media. That's how it is with some of these news reports that be floating around and everything, man. It's fucking ridiculous when you really stop and think about it. That's why I always try to tell you guys, y'all got to be careful. Y'all got to be seriously careful with some of the stuff that you're seeing online, and don't be so quick to react to it, because I always like to tell you guys, let shit play out. Let it play out for what it's worth until you get concrete, okay, this is how it is. This is actually what had went down. And then, go from there. That's how you got to do it, man. All right. So, yeah, that funny little shit, that did give me a serious laugh, though, I must admit. It did give me a serious laugh. But for me, most disturbing, the guy that actually took the photo. Most people get on a public train, some shit like that is going down. Most people are going to go sit as far away from that as humanly possible. They're going to go sit in the next train car, or they're just going to get off that train completely and just catch the next train. That's how they're going to do it. Big deal. Look, I've had sex on the train before. It's fantastic, by the way. It is fucking fantastic, let me tell you. But I've had sex in public before. And, the rare occasions where, oh shit, looks like we're about to get busted, or we are busted, do what we got to do, like, okay, let's go take this business elsewhere. And, shit, I can remember some years back when I was doing security work. I remember I had walked up on a couple that was in one of our bathrooms, really nice, spacious bathroom, the way that we got it set up too, because where I was working, we had the regular men and women's bathrooms, and then we had these type of bathrooms where if you wanted to feed your child, whether you were breastfeeding or maybe you wanted to use a microwave, heat up some food for that baby, take care of them, you could do all of that in this particular room. If you wanted to use the bathroom, if you wanted to change your baby's diaper, if you had like some younger kids, like maybe between 2 to 4, you wanted them to hang out with you, or you did what you needed to do, have a little TV playing in the background, and you got Cars that's playing or some shit like that, you're able to do all of those things. So I remember, and I would work the graveyard shift. And normally by the time I would get to work, we had 2 more movie showings that were playing. So by the time I would get there, the 11 o'clock showing was already playing. And then usually right after that, there would be like a midnight showing or some shit like that. Well, I remember I did my patrol, and I remember there was this one bathroom. I always check it out right when I would begin my patrol, because I got to basically, it's kind of like a wand thing you got to do, and you pretty much got to let them know, yeah, I did check this, I did check that, because they can pretty much download what all you did during your patrol. They can see all the spots that you hit up and everything, and if you missed a couple of them, you're going to hear about it, basically. So I remember when I started my initial patrol, yeah, I did that. Boom. Come back about 45 minutes later. Now I'm coming back full circle. I'm like, why is that curtain over? Like, it wasn't like that when I had. So as I'm just normally walking, the curtain is moving. I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, that doesn't look like wind. Like, there's no AC on in there. Like, what the hell's going on? So I moved the curtain. I still don't see anything, but the bathroom that is in there, you know, I see the TV. It's got the little Cars movie playing, but the little bathroom, there's a curtain on it. I'm like, no, I had that curtain wide open. I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm walking. There's this teenage couple. Fucking girl is just bent over the sink, and dude is just plowing the shit out of her doggy style. And, you know, the girl was so embarrassed. The dude tried to pull the curtain, you know, and I let him pull the curtain, but I told him, I said, guys, I said, come on now. I said, like, y'all need to go do that elsewhere. It's like, come on, I got to lock up. You got to do that elsewhere. It's like, I'll give you 5 more minutes. Get it out. You got to roll out. So they come out actually in about 2 minutes. And he was like, sorry, dude. I'm like, don't be sorry. I'm like, that's a beautiful young girl there, man. You owe her better than that. Like, especially if you were to get her pregnant, right? Like, you owe her better than that. Take her to a nice little hotel. Shit, do it at home. It's like, don't do that. It's like, that's cheap, man. It's like, don't you got respect for her? He's like, yeah, I do. So I've never done anything like that before. And like, it's like, we'll treat her with respect. Give her some dignity. It's like, don't do that. It's like, seriously. It's like, don't do that. Can you just imagine the phone conversation, just a conversation, the little kid. Mommy, how is I born? At a mall. At a mall. Your dad had a couple of drinks. He was horny. I was horny. We went to a public restroom and did the damn thing. And yeah, 9 months later, that's how you came. Oh, I'm terrible. I am terrible. Oh, terrible. All right. See what else. Hey, heads up. Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. They are going to be debuting later this month, if I'm not mistaken. They're already taping their debut as we speak, and they got the first handful of talents that's been announced. The company, so far, they've announced Chris Dickinson, The Awakening, The Bodega, Serge G, Danny Jordan, and AC Mack for the taping. The taping looks like it's going to be taking place September 2nd at the Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. So if you guys are going to be in the Atlanta area, make sure you check that out. Also, by the way, for you Ring of Honor fans, I want to give you guys a heads up because there's some stuff that's going to be going down this weekend. Busy weekend we got loaded up too. You got the Ring of Honor Glory by Honor event that's going to be happening. And apparently they just announced that all guests will be required to wear a mask upon entering the facility in accordance with Philadelphia indoor mask mandates. There's also going to be contactless payment via credit card and debit card, which is pretty much being encouraged. They also want you to maintain proper social distancing. Remember, this ROH Glory by Honor event is going to be happening at the 2300 Arena in PA. So in the card for that so far, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I can actually give you guys a rundown of the card, the way it's looking so far. But this is the trend. This is the new trend that we were talking about, people. And as I have been saying to you guys off and on these shows, this COVID stuff is going to be with us for the next 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years. And at this point, we just got to figure out ways to navigate around it. It does not determine our lifestyle and death style, but we navigate around it and, you know, be as educated as possible and be smart when we're going out dealing with the public and all that. But check this out. This is how the Glory by Honor card is looking so far. For night one, because it's a 2-night event. Night one is going to be on Friday, August 20th, and night two will be on Saturday, the 21st. For night one, Bandito takes on Flip Gordon. That's going to be your main event match for the ROH World Championship. La Faction, good God Almighty. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I'm going to skip that one. Dragon Lee, Kenny King, La Besta del Ring, and Rush take on Violence Unlimited's Brody King, Tony Deppen, Homicide, and Chris Dickinson. It's going to be an 8-man tag team matchup. Jonathan Gresham puts on the line his ROH Pure Championship against Rhett Titus. Brian Johnson will face EC3. Ray Horraz takes on Silas Young. Briscoes, Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, them boys, take on the Righteous, Bateman and Dutch, tag team matchup. Dak Draper versus Danhausen versus Demonic Flamita versus Eli Issam versus Mike Bennett versus PJ Black. 6-man mayhem match for a spot in the ROH World Championship rankings. The Allures, Angelina Love and Mandy Leon, take on Vita Von Star and a mystery tag opponent of hers. Tag team matchup. Apparently, Von Star's partner will be randomly drawn by Mandy Leon. And Chelsea Green will be in action as well. Then night two of ROH Glory by Honor. Check this out. Dragon Lee and Rush will face Mexi Squad, Bandito and Ray Horraz, tag match. Matt Taven faces Vincent, steel cage match for Taven's future ROH World Championship opportunity. Flip Gordon and Demonic Flamita take on the Briscoe brothers, tag match. Violence Unlimited take on the Foundation, 8-man tag team matchup. Dalton Castle faces Danhausen. Shane Taylor Promotions, Jasper Kahn, Moses Maddox, and Shane Taylor take on the Incoherence, Delirious, Frightmare, and Hollow Wicked. It's a 6-man tag team match for the ROH World 6-man tag team championship. Chelsea Green and Willow, not Jeff Hardy Willow, take on Miranda Elise and Rock C, tag matchup. LCG versus world famous CB, cheeseburger for you fans, Pure Rules match. And Trish Adora will face a mystery opponent. So that is how night 1 and 2 of ROH Glory by Honor is looking. They're also going to be filming, I believe they've already done it or they're going to be doing it. They're going to be doing a couple episodes there of ROH. So FYI for you guys. So pretty solid weekend. So you got ROH, you got NXT Takeover 36, you got yourself SummerSlam, you got Rampage. Just a great, fantastic week that we had from last week and just how it's rolling into this weekend, this week and this weekend specifically. Good shit, man. Whole lot of good shit that's going on. Let's see here. Also, look, for you guys that care about betting odds and all that shit, more power to you. Me, man, I'm old school when it comes to betting, but I just think it's kind of interesting what's going on with the early betting odds as far as who's the first opponents for CM Punk and Bryan Daniel and AEW are going to be. I don't know if you guys have seen the numbers for that, like the stats, but it's getting ridiculous. And yeah, you can actually bet on this shit. There's betting odds for this shit. And you can win yourself a decent amount of money. I don't have time for that shit. Look, I'm old school. And what I mean by old school, hey man, $50 says the first opponent for CM Punk is going to be this motherfucker. Yeah, I'll take that bet. I'll raise you. I'm used to that type of betting. I'm not used to this whole other This shit's just kind of way over my head, man. Y'all got me on that one. All right, so let's see. What else? Impact Victory Road. If you guys do not want to hear the results for Impact Victory Road, you can either disconnect now or you can come back in about 90 seconds and we'll be done talking about Impact Victory Road. But here's the, well, I'll tell you what. How about this? Let's compromise. I won't spoil the results. Instead, I'll just tell you the card. Okay? I'll tell you the card, but I won't tell you who won. So again, this is for Impact Victory Road. Again, I don't know if this is supposed to be a future episode of Impact Wrestling. It's just going to be dubbed Victory Road, or if this is going to be for maybe Impact Plus. But here's your matches for Impact Victory Road, because they taped this, they taped their Emergence Impact Plus event, and they did a couple of episodes of Impact Wrestling this week. So this is what they're doing for Impact Victory Road. You've got a no DQ match, Matt Cardona taking on Rohit Raju, Laredo Kid facing Black Taurus, John Skyler, Jake Something, Suicide, and Trey Miguel. Steve Macklin takes on Petey Williams and TJP, triple threat match. Chris Bay and Aquelo face Finjuice. W. Morrissey and Moose team up to face the team of Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, Decays, Rosemary, and Havoc take on the team of Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. Tag Team Championship match, Good Brothers defend the titles against Rich Swann, Willie Mack. Damn good tag team, by the way. Damn good tag team. And the X Division Championship match, Josh Alexander defends his title against Chris Sabin. Looks like a pretty damn good card, if you ask me. I'm definitely very curious when this match, this card for these matches is going to be coming about, because I definitely want to watch it. Some of these, I got to say to you guys, looks pretty promising. It does look pretty promising. All right, let's talk NXT now. Just a couple of key points I want to talk about NXT. It's not a full-blown review, right? Because by now everybody has seen, they know what's going on. The quick results here. Dragunov defeated Roderick Strong. Cameron Grimes defeated Josh Briggs. Dexter Lumis and Indi Hartwell. Happy belated birthday to Indi Hartwell, by the way, as Tuesday officially was her birthday. She's now 24. They defeated the team of Jessi, Kamea, Robert Stone. Carmelo Hayes defeated Duke Hudson to advance into the breakout finals. Talk a little bit more about that. MSK defeated Imperium. Decent episode of NXT for this week. A decent episode. I felt it was, at least. For me, I'm a big fan of Dragunov. Big fan of Dragunov. I see money in that young man. I see money. I smell money. I can taste money. That dude is definitely going places. I love his look. Love his offense. Pretty unorthodox offense that he has. And just the little bit of stuff I've been seeing between him and Walter. I've been eating that shit up. And Walter, one of my all-time favorites. That Walter, I think, can be a significant force to reckon with if the trigger's ever pulled for him to start doing his thing on the main flagship shows, as opposed to just being delegated there in NXT UK division and all. Cameron Grimes picking up the much-needed momentum he needs going into TakeOver, as remember, huge implications for the matchup with LA Knight. Cameron Grimes wins. I would like to believe he wins his freedom, right? Cameron Grimes, he wins his freedom. However, if he loses, LA Knight upgrades to Ted DiBiase for his butler. Yeah. Dexter Lumis, Indi Hartwell, tying the knot there as Indi Hartwell. By the way, I really love the fact that Indi Hartwell is now kind of mimicking the mannerisms and all that of Dexter Lumis. I think That's fucking badass. It almost kind of gives me a oh man, it kind of has a Su Yung vibe to it. And if you've been watching Impact Wrestling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When Su Yung gets her way with individuals, and she just has this way of working her trance magic on people and can essentially get them to do her bidding and all that. I kind of like what's going on there. You know, not quite on that Alexa Bliss level, because that Alexa Bliss stuff can be a little bit hokey dokey. But I like the fact that, you know, Jessi, Kamea and them, they had to learn the hard way. You don't fuck with crazy people. You don't fuck with crazy people. No, they're really Dexter Lumis and Index. They're really growing on me. I think they're a very good, promising television coffee break there. You know, it's kind of one of those. Let's see what they're gonna do next week. Wait a minute, I gotta stop what I'm doing here. I gotta see. They've actually become one of my favorite highlights. Wasn't really down with the Garganos and all that, but now things are starting to make a lot more sense with the whole Garganos, and congrats to them, because I haven't had an opportunity to give congrats, but the Garganos are expecting. And I believe, February, March of next year is when Candice LeRae is supposed to give birth. So congrats. You know, I know sometimes I've kind of busted Gargano's balls and all that, but man, you're welcoming in a beautiful bundle of joy into this world. I can't hate that. And honestly, if you gotta have two cool sets of parents, man, it doesn't get any better than the Garganos. And that's the one thing that I've always admired about the Garganos over the years, is how passionate they are about all things pulp culture. I mean, when it comes to movies, video games, high-tech stuff and all that, those guys are on top of their shit. They are on top of their shit. If you want to get some ideas on what to do with your man cave and all that shit, follow them on social media. They stay having some really cool ass shit. So congrats to the Garganos. A lot of cool ass positive things just happening in wrestling. And, you know, it's kind of unfortunate, because for all the good that happens in pro wrestling, it doesn't get a lot of love. And it definitely doesn't get a lot of love from all the media outlets and websites and all that. But you notice when it's negative, you know, and we kind of know why, because I guess so many people like the whole doom and gloom. They like the controversy and all that other shit. You know, it is what it is. But yeah. Carmelo Hayes advancing there. So he's going to be facing in the finals Odyssey Jones. That's like asking me to choose between Ranch Doritos, Nacho Doritos. Please don't make me choose. You're asking me to choose my favorite kid here. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. I like both guys. But if you had to put a gun to my head and force me to choose, I gotta go with Odyssey Jones. I look at Odyssey Jones and he just has this whole Bam Bam Bigelow, Mark Henry vibe about him. And I just see that going much further than what I'm currently seeing with Carmelo Hayes. Look, don't get me wrong. When it's all said and done, we're going to continue to see both guys in the WWE. Make no mistake about that. Both guys are going to continue to exist in the WWE, but just as far as, okay, for the foreseeable future, the immediate future, who do you see truly that breakout star will make their mark, instant impact and all that? I'm looking at Odyssey Jones. Yeah, I think he's all that and then some, for sure. So I'm going with Odyssey Jones to win the whole tournament. So we'll see how that pans out. But let me know who you guys got for the breakout tournament. I'm curious. The fact that Duke Hudson, I gotta say, That was really surprising. I thought Duke Hudson was going to go all the way. I really, really did. And I remember saying to you guys probably after the second week of the tournament, I said, okay, now that I've had an opportunity, yeah, Duke Hudson, that's my guy. But then I saw Carmelo Hayes, and I was like, and I think I still stuck with Duke Hudson. But, yeah, Odyssey Jones, Duke Hudson, that should be good. Let's see, what else? Just trying to think anything else I want to talk about from NXT from this week that was kind of, the MSK Imperium match was pretty good. I will admit that. It was pretty good for what it was worth. But there was just something about MSK that I can't quite put my finger on. You hear that the crowd is still pretty indifferent to them. You hear they've been getting lackluster reactions, boos at times from the crowd. It's just not clicking. I mean, yeah, their matches are pretty good, but it's just not clicking. And I just kind of have a feeling in my bones that as a result of what's been happening these past several weeks, now that honeymoon period for MSK is over, feels to me eventually we're going to see these guys go the heel route. That's just how it feels, honestly. I know some of you guys may not want that. You may be a little disappointed with that, but that crowd, man, there's no denying that crowd is very indifferent to MSK right now. Very indifferent. So you can have all the fantastic matches in the world and all that, but if you're not clicking with that audience, something's got to change personality-wise. Something's got to change character-wise, and I definitely feel we're definitely going to be reaching that turning point for them. And you know what? I think they would flow pretty damn good as a tag team, quite honestly. My only question would be, all right, well, obviously you got to do a trade-off. You can't just turn them and then, right? So what do? Do you have them go the heel route and maybe Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher? Do you have them chase after them for the tag titles? Because if you're going to do that, I can get behind that. That's good. That's damn good. I can definitely get behind that. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you feel I might be on to something there in regards to MSK. I'll say MSK and their immediate future there. If you're kind of having the same trepidations as I'm having with them. But yeah. By the way, the Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, screen-to-screen face-off there that was moderated by Beth Phoenix. I thought that was badass. I thought that was good. Dakota Kai came out of that like a fucking beast. She came out of that like a true fucking pro. If there's one match I'm really, really eyeballing and I'm going, you know what, man? Something could happen here. Something could. That's the match that I'm looking at. Hey, on that note, why don't we go ahead and go there? Let's go ahead and talk about NXT Takeover 36. NXT Takeover 36. Match predictions. Let's go ahead and let's go there. Let me load up this card here. And let's see. Here we go. So again, we got Takeover on Sunday and SummerSlam is on Saturday. So I tell you what, because we got a nice smooth transition here. Let's talk Takeover first, and then we'll backtrack to SummerSlam. All right. So right now, as it stands, we got about 5 matches. No particular order. Walter versus Dragunov, singles match for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. I love Walter. Really, I do. Great streak this man has been on too, man. But, man, I hate to choose, seriously, especially when it involves Walter. Anything involving Walter, I just be like, yeah, nah. I mean, we're talking 866 days as champion. I mean, let that sink in for a second. 866 days. He won this championship, Takeover New York, April of 2019, and he's been champion that fucking long. And he's been more, see, you could look, all due respect to NWA's Nick Aldis, who recently celebrated 1,000 days as champion and all that. That's good and everything, but we also got to factor in the freaking pandemic, and right? So if you want to look at the body of work, you could almost make an argument that Walter outshines Nick Aldis for body of work. And he's been more consistent. Walter shines more than Nick Aldis. So I really hate to choose. I really do, guys. I really do. I gotta go with Dragunov. Seriously, I gotta go with Dragunov. I'm probably gonna be wrong, but I see so much upside with the young kid. I'm really, really a big fan of his. Future's very bright. Future is very bright for that young man. So I'm going with him, and that's final. Let's see, what else? LA Knight taking on Cameron Grimes, singles match for the $1 Million Championship. Remember, if Grimes loses, DiBiase must become Knight's butler. I'm going to go... Man. This is a tricky one. I'm going to go with... LA Knight. I'm going to go LA Knight. LA Knight. Yeah. I'm going to go LA Knight. Now, some of you guys may be saying, why are you going the LA Knight route, Lee? I just feel this isn't going to be just with a Cameron Grimes win. Okay, yeah, and Cameron Grimes gets the $1 Million Championship. Okay, yeah, he's going to be celebrating for maybe a couple of episodes or whatever, but it just kind of feels to me that the bigger bang, especially the more bang for the entertainment, would be, let LA Knight win. And let's see what happens with Ted DiBiase in the butler role, and how Cameron Grimes tries to figure out a way to get Ted DiBiase out of that situation, right? It just kind of feels like that's the next chapter in this whole Cameron Grimes LA Knight rivalry that's going on here. That's honestly how it just kind of comes off to me. Now, you could flip it and you could say Cameron Grimes wins, but then what becomes of LA Knight? Does LA Knight maybe come out of this kind of having his Baron Corbin light moment? A little something to think about. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. But here on this night, way I'm feeling, and I don't think my answer is going to change, I'm going to go with LA Knight to retain the $1 Million Championship, gets the services of Ted DiBiase. Raquel Gonzalez faces Dakota Kai, NXT Women's Championship. Tag team division of girls seems to be preoccupied for the moment. This is tough. This is tough. Because you got to be careful, because going into this one could maybe give you an answer for the last championship match, right? Within reason. So, if you ask me personally, makes all the sense in the world for the teacher to essentially get the one-up on the student. The teacher being Dakota Kai. And I personally would not mind seeing Raquel Gonzalez chase after Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's title. I personally would not mind that. And if you want to just kind of go back and forth with those girls for a couple of months, you can definitely do that. I'm just trying to look into the crystal ball and picture what challenges could be next for Raquel Gonzalez. If she were to retain, do you maybe slide in there Frankie Monet? Are you maybe going that route? You know, it's kind of weird, because you haven't exactly built up. Okay, next. So I'm a little bit at a stalemate here with these two girls. I'm going to go with Dakota Kai to become your new NXT Women's Champion. All the work that she's put in, been a damn good heel. Wasn't really clicking with me when she was a babyface, but I couldn't even deny as far as just the in-ring ability stuff. I mean, yeah, sister's entertaining as hell in the ring, no doubt about that. This transformation that she's been able to do with herself, though, and just, yeah. I would say Dakota Kai all the way. Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe, NXT Championship. God damn, this is a tricky one, man. This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. I don't know. Ooh, excuse me. I don't know about this one. Truly, I am stumped. I'm stumped on this one. Samoa Joe. I'm going to go Samoa Joe. Here's the reason why I'm going to go with Samoa Joe. And I'm a fan of Karrion Kross. I'm a big fan of Karrion Kross. But it just feels to me, look, everything that's been going on with Karrion Kross and NXT, the way he's been built up and everything, it's been fine. The way that's been relayed to Monday Night Raw, on the other hand, started off shaky, but now it's getting back on track. With Samoa Joe as your world champion in NXT, you're putting a bit of familiarity that's out there. You're also capitalizing and maximizing more on the fact that Samoa Joe back there with NXT, that's a good gate attraction and everything. That's definitely a good attraction, especially for live viewers and all that. The name Samoa Joe still fucking sells big time. And man, just all the other great matchups that we can be seeing in the immediate future with Joe. Championship or no championship. But definitely with the championship. You got to put a big old, hey, Joe with championship. Karrion Kross. I mean, you got to really stop and think about this. If you have Karrion Kross win, even if Karrion Kross were to win by fuckery, there's just no way you can kind of have Samoa Joe circle on back to face Karrion Kross yet again, because all of those stipulations that was put out there in storyline when Samoa Joe told William Regal, hey, look, I want a piece of Karrion Kross. Here's what I'm willing to do to get to that point. And, steps down as co-GM, does all this other shit, reactivates himself as a wrestler, gets the match, right? So we do all of this, and at the very end, Kross just comes out on top, and Joe is just supposed to continue to just do as a wrestler again. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. So, yeah, I kind of feel as though Samoa Joe is going to be walking out of here as the new world champ. Now, of course, big question comes into play. What does that mean for Karrion Kross in the immediate future? Look, you got that draft for sure going to be coming up very soon. I don't see him going over to SmackDown. I wish he would go over to SmackDown. I really feel that if he were to go over to SmackDown, thrive more over there. But yeah, I just kind of feel like He's going to stay on Raw no matter what. Long as they continue to build him up the way that they've been building him up. Again, it started off pretty rocky, pretty shaky there. But as long as they continue to just stay the course with him, I see a lot of good things happening for him on the Raw side, for sure. But on this night, yeah, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe for the retain. All right, so looking at that one more time. Oh, and we got one more match. Hold up. 2 out of 3 falls match. First fall is a traditional wrestling match. Second fall is a street fight. And if necessary, third fall, steel cage. I am going to go with... This is going to be a very telling tale of a match, too. All the stuff in the air about Adam Cole and everything. Because on the one hand, if you look at the Adam Cole W, you can look at that and say, okay, well, with this dub, Adam Cole probably is going to be sticking around. With the loss, however, I'm definitely sure it would spark a lot of confusion, maybe potential anger, curiosity in some fans wondering if everything is good with Adam Cole in WWE, if he truly is going to continue to remain with the WWE here. You think about some of the stuff that he had said in regards to his Twitch account. He had said that his Twitch is not going anywhere. He loves his Twitch account. He loves his Twitch community. He's not stopping it. You can't help but wonder if WWE was able to work out some type of a deal where, kind of similar to what's going on there with Zelina Vega. You can't help but wonder if that same courtesy is being extended to Adam Cole or what have you. So there's a lot of mystery going into this matchup. But I am going to say I'm going to go with Adam Cole. I'm actually going to go with Adam Cole to pick up the dub here. I'm going to go with him. All right, so recap on these 5 matches. Adam Cole over Kyle O'Reilly. LA Knight over Cameron Grimes. Dakota Kai over Raquel Gonzalez. Dragunov over Walter. Samoa Joe over Cross. Jesus, I'm like going for a whole new... Yeah, let me go back here. I'm staying. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay with those. Wow, so I don't see not one champion retaining? Let me just look at this now. Hang on, guys. Hang on. No, I said LA Knight. I did say LA Knight retains the $1 Million Championship. I'm just trying to make sure this isn't a clean sweep the way I'm kind of looking at it here as far as shakeups and all that goes. Yeah. Adam Cole over O'Reilly. LA Knight over Grimes. Kai over Gonzalez. Joe over Cross. Dragunov over Walter. Yeah. I'm going to stay with that, and that's final. All right, and then we do have SummerSlam that's going to be coming up. Day prior, we got SummerSlam coming up. Let me just see how that SummerSlam card is. Because, honestly, I think in regards to SummerSlam, we might be able to do that on the Friday show. But let me just see here. Let me see how that Saturday show Saturday card is looking. Good God almighty, 10 matches? Wow, man. 10 matches for SummerSlam. Shit. All right, well, let's go there. We advertised it, so let's go there. Okay, let's see what we got here. AJ Styles, Omos, taking on RK Bro. Raw Tag Team titles. RK Bro. We've already teased this a little bit. You can check out the past, you can check out Monday's show, and then you can check out some of the previous shows I've put out over the past 2 to 3 weeks. I've been very back and forth about this, but I've leaned very heavily towards RK Bro. Yeah, RK Bro, hands down. Alexa Bliss faces Eva Marie. Bliss. Jinder Mahal faces Drew McIntyre. Veer and Shanky are banned from ringside. Drew. I'm going with Drew hands down. Sheamus takes on Damian Priest, United States Championship. Priest, hands down. Priest. Let's go. This is his big moment. Big man arrives. Let's go there. Actually, you know what? Let me go back. No. This would essentially be Act 1. Officially Act 1. No. Sheamus retains. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Edge, hands down. Edge. Bianca Belair defends her SmackDown's championship against Sasha Banks. Sasha. There's one cool thing I would like to see come out of this. I've been calling for a couple of months now. I would like to see the mean streak of Bianca Belair come back. And I think in order for that mean streak to come back, I think she needs to get humbled a peg or two. So I'm going to go with Sasha Banks, new SmackDown Women's Champion, and let Bianca chase after her for a little bit. Yeah. Usos defend the SmackDown tag titles against Rey and Dominic Mysterio. You can't help but wonder if father and son are going to have a really cool-ass nice moment at SummerSlam in front of the fans. Rey and Dominic Mysterio, SmackDown Tag Champions. That good feel moment for the fans. Father and son. I'm just picturing the way it would play out. Yeah. I'd be very surprised to see Usos come out of SummerSlam still the SmackDown Tag Champions. Lashley faces Goldberg, WWE Championship. Come on, man. Come on. Really? Come on. Lashley hands down. Roman Reigns faces John Cena for the Universal Championship. You already know where I'm going. I'm continuing to support our tribal chief. Fuck that. Nah. Nikki Ash defends the Raw Women's Championship. Triple threat match. Charlotte, Flair, Rhea Ripley. Triple threat there. She's defending against those girls. This is very, very tricky, y'all. Very tricky. Very, very tricky. I am going to say Nikki Ash this time. Nikki Ash this time. But don't be too surprised if way before October. Don't be too surprised if Nikki Ash loses the title. I'm not seeing her. I've had time to think about this. I don't see her losing the title at SummerSlam. I know some of us are really feeling the way that we're feeling. And when you look at this past Monday show, everything that I had laid out, I still believe, just to go back to Monday night, I still believe that something dark and sinister is around the corner for the future there of Nikki Ash. Go back to Monday's show. I did put the timestamps when you go look up the episode on YouTube. I did put up the timestamps, so you'll be able to hear my discussion about Nikki Ash. But I still feel that there's a dark turn on the horizon coming there for Nikki Ash. But on SummerSlam night, I'm gonna have her walk out. I can see her walking out as the Raw Women's Champion. Definitely. Do you really want to send that message that she was nothing more than a transitional champ there, that it was just all about pure fucking luck and all that? Do you really want to? I don't know if that's really the... I don't know about that. But at the same time, yeah, no, I'm sticking with Nikki Ash. All right, so to recap, RK Bro New champs. Bliss over Eva Marie. McIntyre over Drew. Sheamus over Priest. Edge over Rollins. Sasha over Belair. Mysterio's over Usos. Lashley retains over Goldberg. Reigns retains over Cena. Man, and I got Ash retaining. I'm going to stick with Ash. I'm going to stick with Ash for the retain. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at SummerSlam for Saturday night. Man, so we went into all of that. That's good. All right. So other than that, real quick, some fun non-wrestling related news I do want to share with you guys here tonight. I don't know if you guys had heard the news, but our boy Anthony Mackie has signed on to portray the new Captain America yet again in Captain America 4. There will be a fourth installment of Captain America. And I'm telling you guys, if you have not gone out of your way to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, you really need to make it be your business. You're missing out on some solid shit. Casting has not been announced just yet, but so far, Captain America 4 is going to be co-written by Malcolm Spillman and staff writer Delon Moosen. These guys were responsible for a big bulk of the episodes that came about from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, FYI, I'm very ecstatic to hear that. I can't wait to see what happens with that particular project. And then also there's going to be a new Clerks movie. I don't know if you guys had heard about that one. I wonder if I have the image. Let me see. I don't think I have the image. No, I wasn't able to load up the image, but apparently there's going to be a Clerks 3 movie. Kevin Smith is behind it. I've always enjoyed the Clerks movies, man. Like so many times over the years, I've watched those fucking movies. And one of the first picks from Clerks 3 is floating around online, and it shows the lead cast. It's being filmed by Lionsgate, and all your favorites are pretty much coming back. But the still image that's floating around right now, it's got Jeff Anderson as Randall, Brian O'Halloran as Dante, Trevor Furman as Elias, and of course Rosario Dawson as Becky. Jay and Silent Bob, they're going to be back. Everybody that you love from the first two Clerk movies, everybody's fucking coming back. So I'm ecstatic to see what's going on. It's kind of like one of those you got to paint yourself sometimes and go, fucking what year is this again? Like seriously, what year is this? So fun stuff right there. Don't forget, Madden is going to be dropping. If you guys had already pre-ordered, you can play it right now. Otherwise, if I remember correctly, the game won't be released for everybody to purchase until this Friday. But if you pre-order right now, you can actually play it right now and get the head start. I played the trial version of Madden 22, and I got to tell you, it was actually pretty damn good. I had not played, last time I played a Madden game was about, I think it was maybe 2014, 2015 was the last time I had played, and I mean like on a regular yearly basis. 14, 15 is when I clocked out. I just said, man, fuck this. I'm playing the same shit. But Madden 22 looks very, very promising. If you ask me which game mode I have found most, okay, you know what? This is pretty, I actually liked, I think it was maybe the franchise mode. I'll have to rely on you guys that played Madden 22. I believe it was the franchise mode, the mode where you go in and there's actually a story. There's actually a story that's attached to it where you are you pick the college that you're coming out of. And I was a little bit blown that, I couldn't Maryland football, like Terps or whatever. I was a little bit blown. I couldn't. The list was just very specific. Maybe it's much expanded on the full game, but I think I ended up going with LSU. And I don't know anything about LSU, right? It's like, okay, I guess I'll go. I didn't want to go with Florida because I just didn't like any of the stupid shit that's been going on out there with Florida. So I refuse to do any of the schools there with Florida. But basically, you pretty much showed up on these training campus grounds, and you're doing all these exercises, and it's a nice little cool story that's attached to it. I thought it was pretty cool. One thing that I kind of found a little bit hilarious, though, if you happen to be a black man, right, you make a black avatar, your friends and family and your significant other, everybody's black. But if you're white, all your friends and family and significant other is all white. I just thought that was a little interesting there. It's like, yeah, we kind of dropped the ball on that one, EA. But anyway, no, I thought that little campaign mode, I thought that was pretty good for what it was worth. Seems as though as far as the gaming mechanics go, they kind of stripped it down a little bit more, try to make things be a little bit more simplistic. 'Cause I remember there were some of those Madden games, wait, I got to do this, and then I got to, and it just felt very clunky, a bit overwhelming as far as information you had to process and all that. I like this simplicity that they have in the controls as far as what do you want to do in the end zone? Do you want to dance? Like there's like 4 different options you can choose, and all you got to do is just flick the joystick north, south, east, or west when you make your score in the end zone and all that. I thought that was pretty good. Goal mechanism, field goal attempts and all that, when you're punting, kicking the ball, nothing really changed with that. So that's kind of nice for what it was worth. That's kind of nice. Still playing that little Gage mini game, hitting that right sweet spot and all that. So I like that. There's some elements that kind of make me go, okay, well, this is new. Okay, well, this is kind of cool and all of that. I think really, if I were to recommend Madden 22 to anybody, I think it would kind of have to be one of those type of deals where, number one, I would ask, well, what type of gaming console do you have? Because if you want to get the best visual presentation that's humanly possible for the game, if you already are pushing a PS5, you pushing an Xbox Series X, you're good to go. I ended up playing it on the Xbox One, and I mean, presentation-wise, it looked phenomenal. I can only imagine how it would play on the current next-gen consoles, but you definitely have to kind of factor that in, and then you also got to factor in, what's your TV setup, what kind of TV are you pushing and all that. You would also have to kind of factor that in as well, assuming, maybe you do have the next gen consoles and all that. But bottom line, if you were to ask me if you should go out of your way, check out Madden 22, I would say yeah. Now, I don't know if the trial is still available, but I would definitely encourage you guys to go check out the trial version. But be prepared, that trial version is buggy. I don't know how it is for PlayStation owners, but for Microsoft owners, what I experienced during that trial, multiple crashes during that trial. I could be navigating in the menu and all that shit, and the game would just crash right then and there. Very unstable. So hopefully by now, maybe they've rolled out some patches and they've kind of fixed that and all that. You got to remind yourself that what you're playing when you download that trial version, that's not the final product. So if you were to pre-order, and you pretty much have put your money down so you can play it right there on the spot, then maybe the experience, since you're unlocking the full game, maybe it's a completely different experience. But yeah, kind of have that going in the back of your head. But if you are willing to wait about a week and a half, just to see what everybody, all the usual people, IGN, who else? IGN. Oh shit, for sure G4. G4 is going to be reviewing the Madden game. So you definitely want to pay attention to those two outlets. GameSpot. If you are willing to wait about a week and a half, let the experts jump out there and let them tell you the nitty gritty and all that. But hopefully what I told you guys is somewhat helpful. It already kind of got your gears in motion a little bit. Because like I said, I haven't played it since, on a regular basis, I haven't played it since 2014, 2015. I used to be one of those type of Madden gamer players. When a new Madden was coming out, man, even if it meant I had to like camp out in front of my local GameStop or whatever for an hour or two so I could pick up that new copy, I'd fucking do that. I would go hang out at midnight launch parties at stores and meet cool people and all that other shit just to get my copy of fucking Madden. I would like do that religiously for a handful of years up until around that time period. Then I kind of was like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. So, you know, keep that in mind. But hopefully that info, it helps you out. And if you end up getting it, let me know on social media what platform you're getting it for. I don't know. Maybe we can kind of, you know, play each other sometimes. We'll see. All right. Other than that, that is pretty much going to do it. I'm going to say this show is done. We'll stick a fork in it. We'll call it DONE done. Now, programming notes, again, go on the YouTube's community page early Thursday afternoon. So later today, if you're on the East Coast, I'm going to put up a poll asking you guys if you would like a special Friday night edition of the RCWR show. Again, if we were, for those of you that's just now tuning in, if we were to do the Friday show, most likely we would come on at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. That gives me enough time to provide 401 Mania with the live ongoing AEW Rampage coverage. And then from there, I can type up the review and then bam, we can go right into doing the post show for you guys. And like I said earlier, we'll probably be on for maybe about an hour. We'll spend about 30 minutes talking about Rampage, dedicate the other 30 minutes with your Q&As, reactions to Rampage, open up the phone lines as well. That's how we'll do it. So potentially Friday, a show. Saturday, definitely will be a post show. We'll cover SummerSlam Fallout. Sunday, there will be a post show covering NXT 36. Don't forget, Awesome Con. I'm doing the panel this Friday, and I said the wrong time. It's 12:45 p.m. Eastern to 2:15 p.m. Eastern. I played back Monday's show, and it was kind of funny because I said, yeah, his panel's going to go from 12:45 p.m. Eastern until 12:15 p.m. And if you're kind of scratching your head, you're like, wow, so you're pulling an all-nighter, right? But no, it's 12:45 p.m. Eastern until 2:15 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, like when you just focus on the amount of shows, the amount of podcasts we're going to be putting out for you guys over the next handful of days, it's a shitload that's going to be coming. All you need to be thinking to yourself right now and circling that calendar, Lee's going to be doing a show potentially Friday. He's definitely doing a show Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, it's one of those type of schedules. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. I don't want you guys missing out on all the great content we're going to be doing for you guys here next coming days. Load shit that we're going to be getting into. And you can always get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. You guys that's going to be waiting for the audio version of this. Give me about 30 minutes at most. I just got to save the audio and then clean it up in Adobe Premiere. And then I will quickly, boom, just like that. I just need 30 minutes. I got plenty of energy. I ate dinner not long ago, so I'll be kicking back, jamming to some tunes, and you guys will have the episode for on demand and the downloads in a hot minute. All right, everybody else that tuned in live, appreciate all the love and the support as always. You guys, sorry about that. You guys are fucking awesome. Give yourselves a pat on the back. And until next go around, unless you got other plans, I wish you guys to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Hopefully, you'll be coming right back here. Loads to get into this week, wrestling-wise. Great time to be a wrestling fan. I'll check y'all out later. Take care, y'all.